Hi, everyone, and welcome again to Soul Stories. My name is Ariela HaLevi, and I'm so excited to be sitting here with not only a renowned psychic medium, but my sister-in-law of 26 years. And yes, so today, this is Rebecca Rosen, and I'm going to introduce you. But today is such an important conversation because all of our clients, I think, talk about this idea of how do I achieve ascension here in this earthly plane when I have to live in this body and I have to be an earthly person. And, I would interject and say what a gift it is to be this earthly person. But the conversation today is how to ascend through descension. Right? Ascension through descension.
Yes.
And I think it's a really important conversation what people don't know, but you and I talk often when we're in the car. Often I'm in the car more now than you are, and I'm driving and I'm doing the earthly thing, but we're having really ascending conversations.
Yes.
We're talking about higher consciousness and how to achieve this even while we're doing mundane things.
Yes, we are in the 3D, but choosing to come from the 5D.
Yes. And something that I love, you've written many books and you've been doing this work for so many years since you were in your early 20s. And the one thing I love about your most recent book, What's Your Heaven, is I feel like you really bring in those things, like bringing heaven to earth. And so I think today I would love to talk about that concept. That's something that I use all the time. And I would love to talk about this idea of how do we bring this idea of heaven, right? That's really ascension.
Right.
Into this earthly world, living in the vessels that we live in.
Yeah.
Money, relationships, work, life, and how gorgeous it is and how we choose to come here. But how do we make it pop?
Yes.
So I thought you would be the perfect person so we can just have a conversation about that.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, the first thing when you say that I think of is that I think people have this misconception of heaven's a place and heaven's not a place. It's a frequency, right? So I always say you can be in a living hell if you're here in body or in spirit.
Right.
And you can also create a heavenly existence. And it's all through our emotions and our vibration. Right. And so that idea, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are or who you are. Your everything in the third dimensional external earth world is a reflection of your energy and what's going on from the inside out. Right. And so I like to share that because I channel spirits all the time who are just picking up where they left off when they passed away, saying, I thought I was getting out of my living hell.
Right.
Or whatever negative situation or struggle they were going through. And you meet up with yourself.
Right.
And so there's no kind of bypassing it.
Totally.
And so the choice is, which I think is really exciting and empowering, is if you're not loving the life you're living, change it. We have the power to. And now, we have many timelines or destinies. There's not one, your future's not set in stone. It's not like one. You might have a loose blueprint or plan for the life you're here to live and the lessons you're here to work through. But how you get there and if you get there and what you choose your heaven to be is totally up to you.
So beautiful. I love the idea of, I guess what you're saying is choice.
Free will choice.
Right. Which is, in Kabbalah, there's a saying that the angels are jealous.
Oh,
yeah.
I've never heard that.
I always loved that. The angels are they don't necessarily have free will because they're always heavenly. And remember that movie with Nicolas Cage? Oh gosh, City of Angels. Do you remember that? And he desperately wanted to be an earthly person because he saw how beautiful and colorful life was and all the choices. Right. So I feel like that's what you're saying is first of all, whether you live here or you go to the other side, you still have to face you.
Yes.
And that is a choice to deepen into you.
Yes. And what spirits say all the time is that we're always more powerful to heal and balance karma in the place it was originally created. So past lives, right? And you're reincarnating, coming back into this experience to do it better, to do it differently, to do it with love and not fear, light and not shadow. And souls are lined up out the door trying to get into bodies. There's this idea that there's 1 in every 3 makes it in. And so there's this, what a gift, even the messy, challenging stuff.
Right.
If we can wake up and say, this is of the light. Thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity to help me reveal more of my light and to heal and balance whatever it is, the karma, the lessons we're here to work through.
I love that. And I guess my question would be is, so how do we do that? You know, sometimes it's hard to make that choice, and life is messy and life is emotional, and we have blocks and beliefs. And, you know, you and I both talk about ancestral patterns. And how do we then make that choice if we're kind of stuck in the muck?
Oh, I love this so much because when I drove up here, my guides are like, we have to talk about shadow.
Yeah.
It's everything you said. Before you ascend, you must first descend. Right. And that means moving into, we all have a shadow side. And so I drove up and I'm like, okay, got it. We'll talk about shadow work. And then the song Shadow Dancing was on.
Andy Gibb.
I'm like, I hear you. Okay, so shadows, the unconscious, fragmented parts of ourself. And we all have it. Some of us have done more work and we've integrated it and healed it. And some of us not so much. And I'm one of those people right now working through my shadow. And it's that inner child wound, the parts of us that, whether it's limiting beliefs, false beliefs, the repressed emotions, which I am notorious for, stuffing it down, and the people pleasing and all the parts of us where we lost ourself in a relationship, in a person, in a situation, in society at large. We conform to fit in. And so what we have to do to be a conscious co-creator of your heaven on earth, you have to be whole. And that means we have to be brave and willing to face those broken parts and fragmented parts and do the work and not spiritually bypass.
Yes, that's the word that kept coming up to me.
It's it.
Yeah.
And it's work.
It definitely is. And I think spiritual bypassing is a big one, like you said, right? Like, I think it's interesting. I also think time, like our world is changing, our consciousness is changing. And I think for a long time when you and I started, we started with Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay.
Neil Donald Walsh.
Yes. We used to have conversations with God.
Yes.
About God with you and your dad and Baruch. And those were like beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think as the world has evolved into spirituality, there has been this idea of just spiritually bypassing the pain. Even if I would say plant medicine and things that seem so good can be used, anything outside of us can be used as a bypassing to what is really going on in here.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because I think now, in our world, we're getting to this point where we're realizing like we really can't bypass the messy stuff. So I guess my question is, why do we bypass, and how do we get into ourselves without falling apart?
From my experience, the reason I bypass and I've witnessed clients is because I've had a dysregulated nervous system.
Yes.
And I don't feel safe.
Yes.
To sit with the discomfort. And it really requires that. And so let me back up for a second. So what I did my whole season 4 podcast, Small, Medium, at Large, I have this whole on self-care.
Yeah.
And I have a whole segment just on in order to ascend, you must first descend.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, this has been my work.
Yeah.
And of course, law of attraction. I have so many clients coming to me, they're mirroring it back, same thing.
Of course.
And so the world is changing. The vibration of the planet is changing. We're, like you said, our consciousness is elevating and expanding if we allow it.
Mm-hmm.
And, moving from the idea of an old earth to a new earth.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does feel like it's ripe for opportunity.
Yeah.
I feel more supported.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just the fact back in 1997 when we were talking about conversations with God, people thought we were cuckoo, woo-woo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now it's more accepted
Right.
and common.
Right.
And it feels safer.
Right.
And so it's
would you say it feels safer to be you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really working on now.
Yeah.
It's safe. I have the witch wound.
Yeah.
Past lives, I'm sure you do too.
Yes, of course.
So we hide, we shrink down, we cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And no more of that. We got to rise and be that light.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to fully be a whole integrated being of light, a sovereign being of light, you have to not bypass. You have to dive in and feel it all. Understand not why is this happening to me, but what is this here to teach me?
Right.
How do I find healing and balance from this?
Mm-hmm.
You bless it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you neutralize it.
That's beautiful. Yeah. When I think of like the nervous system safety, right, and how it keeps us from it causes us to bypass. We go into freeze. We go into looking outside of ourselves for something to feed us, right? I think that it's a huge thing that most people don't realize. I mean, I would say it's a woman thing, but I think it's a sensitive, empathic thing.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter gender. I think it's an empathy thing because I've talked to a lot of men that also have that like buzzing feeling in the nervous system where when we really tap in, we realize we're not safe.
Yes.
Right. And so that is the witch wound. That is the ancestral wounds. Like all of us have ancestors that have gone through war and famine and all that stuff. I guess let's like deepen into that a little bit. So we're talking about ascension, but you and I have like taken it and brought it back into our bodies, into our nervous systems. Mm-hmm. So if we're going to ascend, we have to actually heal this stuff here.
Yes.
How do we do that? I know. Well, we could have a whole discussion on that.
That could be a whole podcast. Okay. So what's coming to me, what I'm hearing to say is that in my book, What's Your Heaven, I talk about connection to source, connection to self, connection to others, and in that order.
Yeah.
And so you have to, because for me, I've always done it the reverse. That's my high functioning codependency.
Right.
If you're not okay, I'm not okay.
Right.
Feeling into, I'm an empath, other people.
Yeah.
It's coming home to yourself. It's coming back to God. God is my source.
Yeah.
And that's where we heal from the inside out. You start there.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's coming back to self.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, self was, what does my nervous system need to feel safe?
Totally.
What do I need to feel like I'm enough?
Right.
And so in doing the work with that, and then from there being able to show up in relationships with others, having healthy boundaries, not enmeshing.
Yes.
And, really having mutual regard, but honoring like the separateness and finding a way to come together from a heart level, but not enmeshing. What I used to do is coming together in my solar plexus where I would take on their nervous system.
Right. Right.
And so I'm really starting to understand. I wrote this book and 2 years later now, I'm actually like, I need my book.
Right.
This always happens.
I mean, of course. It reminds me, I think it was like 7 years ago. I remember sitting on the stairs in my house in Lowry and I was talking to my husband, your brother. And we were having a conversation. It was a really deep conversation. But for me, it was like a coming to Jesus moment. Mm-hmm. And he had no idea that it was. But for me, it was like, we've been raising 4 kids. We were in Israel. That was all like the whole Israel thing was like, for me, it was like nervous system intensity, making sure everybody's okay. Is everybody okay? Everybody okay? We come back and it's like, oh, wait a second. I've been living from, is everybody okay? Like this buzzing here.
Yes.
I've been hooking up to everybody and him too. I've been hooking up in this codependent way for years. And I think also it's like, it is a growing up thing, right? We get to this point where our bodies no longer want to react that way. And for me, it was like this taking back my own, I always say, like, you know, you say it too, taking back my energy from all space and time.
Yeah.
And I think that there are times in our lives where that really lands. And then it's got to land a few more times.
Yeah. It's a
But
practice.
it was a practice. And for me, it was like, oh, I no longer need to worry about what everybody else is thinking and doing and live in their field, making sure everybody's okay. I can actually be I can be my own person.
Yes.
And I don't
Imagine
think we're
that.
taught that.
No, especially caregivers, empaths who naturally, want to hold everyone.
Right.
And that I would say, and you tell me if I'm wrong, you and I are both high functioning codependents.
Yes.
Where we overgive and overfunction. And
totally.
The intention is beautiful.
Right.
It's so disempowering though, to ourselves first and to the people around us. And so it's really, it's a process. It's an evolution. It's like I was so in it. I couldn't see it for so many years.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and I'm like, time out. This is not sustainable.
Right.
I'm burning out and it's disempowering the people around me.
Right.
And so the most loving thing I can do is call my energy home to me. Mm-hmm. And so if you ask, what is one thing we could do? Call your energy back. Say your name out loud 3 times. Mm-hmm. And what's really funny is I learned whenever I would say my last name, whether it was my maiden name or my married name, I couldn't ground. It was Rebecca alone because that's me.
Right.
Right. And so you have to figure out, okay, what is my name? Maybe it's your soul name. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Figure out what that is, though. That's just solely you.
Right.
And call your light back to you wherever you've given it out, wherever you've left it. For me, that's been a really big, just really easy thing I can do in the moment. Yeah. To feel more grounded and peaceful inside.
That's beautiful. That's such an interesting thing when you're using your maiden name, when you use, what is your name?
I know.
Right?
Sometimes I say the soul name I have and I don't even say Rebecca because that's authentically my soul self.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about soul, right? So if we're talking about ascension through descension, right? And we're talking about the body and then the nervous system and codependency. So I feel like you and I are sitting here, but I feel like there's this energy of soul right here, right? That's like raising its hand and he's like, I want to come in. And so let's like bring the soul into this because I think I think a lot of us miss that ingredient when it comes to this descension stuff and we're in the mud and we're in the muck and we're like, I'm alone here. And yes, it's about spirit connecting to our soul to connect to our body. Mm-hmm. What is the nature, where do we bring our soul in all of this?
Well, I think we have to remember we're always our soul self. And I like to think of it like a light bulb cup caked with dirt and dust and mud.
That's what I see.
It's always there. We just have to
shine it.
That's right. Right. And so soul is who we are. That's the eternal consciousness. When we
never die,
right? When we die, our body dies, our mind dies, our soul, our consciousness lives on. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's just remembering we're soul first. Yeah. We have a body. Yeah. And we have a personality. Right. And so it's always there. And then it's choosing to align with it, to attune to that frequency. Mm-hmm. And that's why I do prayer and meditation in the morning, even if I only have 5 minutes. Right. I'm connecting to source, to soul, higher self, to me. And bringing it in to ground it so I can be a light. Right. And if I just simply call in my light and ask that it helps me make choices from light and not shadow. Yes. then I can show up and be that light for others, to give others permission to do it, to show them. I feel like I'm a guide more than a teacher. And so really I'm walking through it with everyone else, and I take what works, leave what, doesn't resonate. But we all have our own way of accessing it, but we all have it.
Right.
And it's just recognizing that just because I work day in, day out, and you work day in, day out as these spiritual healers and intuitives, everybody can do this. We all have a soul.
Right.
And it's up to us. It comes back to free will choice. Do we choose to pay attention to that energy that's present?
Right.
Or do we choose to go into the frightened part of our personality and ego and have that run our day?
Right.
And that, again, creates the feeling unsafe, insecure. You start to vibrate at the frequency of fear that is pervasive in this earth world right now.
True.
No, thank you.
Right.
It's all going on, but there's days I slip into it.
Yeah.
And I call my energy back. I'm like, I'm not going there. That means I can't watch the news.
Right.
I'm too vulnerable.
Social media, I have to get off.
Right. Some days I'm totally clear. And it's good to understand and observe, but not absorb.
Yes.
All of that energy, so that I can then be even more inspired to bring light, to be light. Because a lot of clients are like, well, light workers, people who are here to bring that consciousness to the planet. And there's a lot of us. How do we do that? You can't give what you don't have. You have to authentically be it.
Right. And live it.
Yeah.
I think that, I always talk about this idea of it's the choice to live from your soul. It's almost like an order of things, where if you think of like spirit, soul, relationships, personality, body, right? And I think from a lot of us, we live emotions first. We live on the relationship level first instead of soul first.
Yes.
And we live from that energy of, I'm depleted and now I'm going to live from depletion. I'm codependent. I'm going to live from codependency. And it is a very deep choice. And I think that, I don't know what you think, but like, it feels to me like there's layers and levels of this, right? The blessing of being here in this vessel is that it's a school. I know you teach this too, right? It's literally an education that we all scramble to come into. It's like sometimes why, but it's an education of learning about yourself. Like you said, today I dusted off another piece of my soul.
Right.
I can see it. It's brighter.
Yes.
And it is a choice. It's also, it's not always easy, but when we do it, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like you said, like, if you lived from the stuff you ingested from social media, you wouldn't be able to function. So it's an inner boundary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everything has energy, and everything has a frequency. And, social media, while there's a lot of advantages and positive things about it, it can really bring you out of alignment and into a fear-based frequency.
Right.
There's a lot of comparison, competition, lack that I've observed with it.
Same.
Right. And it can really trigger you. And if it triggers you, you're like, hey, what's this bringing up? And I need to look at that.
Exactly.
And so I think a lot of what we're saying is we are an earth school. That means we have homework. We came in with a curriculum. Everyone's is different.
Right.
And there's no better or worse. And, I love this idea of earth school, but I have written about this, but I start rethinking. I don't want it to be like better or worse, superior. Like if you're in the first grade versus the 12th grade, there is no judgment on that from spirit.
Right.
It's like it's like colors. Blue is not better than purple or red.
That's very true.
They're just
like that.
different frequencies. And so I like to look at, we're all at our own place on that yellow brick road, trying to all walk each other home.
Right.
That's the idea, without judgment.
Right.
Judgment of ourselves or judgment of others, right, wrong, good, bad, because that creates that divisiveness and competition.
Yeah.
Right. And so I find myself doing it, and I have to stop.
Right.
And say, get into discernment over judgment, observing it with neutrality rather than projecting my insecurities or my opinions onto a person or onto a situation. And it's just human nature. I think we get habitual and we fall into this programming and conditioning that so many of us were brought up with.
Absolutely. I keep hearing the word boundaries when you're talking.
So,
it is the
true.
boundary. I was just talking to a client about this morning. It's like the boundaries with other people are sometimes easier than the boundaries. If we're talking about, ascending more because we're descending, a big part of that is judgment and ego.
Mm-hmm.
I would say number one is probably judgment.
I agree.
But that is like an inner training.
Yes.
To not assume, right? The 4 agreements.
Yeah.
I love the 4 agreements. To not take things personally, right? Impeccable with your word. But like that is an inner mind training because all the ways we've been programmed. I was just reading something about how we are so programmed to blame our parents for the mistakes they made. And I did that for decades. Blaming, like, why did I choose that? Why would I choose that? I love my parents. But I finally stepped into this place of like, oh my God, how can we expect people to know things that we know now? How can we expect our parents? Think about the 80s. Right? Like,
yes.
We grew up in the 80s
Yeah.
and the 70s and the 80s. It's like, how could we expect them to know the things that we know now, given what they were given or weren't given?
Right.
And that is an inner training of releasing judgment from ourselves and those that raised us and others. That keeps us, that's the choice, either in that relationship, like leading from relationship or leading from soul.
Exactly. And the soul,
so freeing.
It's so freeing.
Yeah.
The soul part of us sees it as, thank you, mom and dad or husband, wife, for being my polishing stone and showing me what I don't want or who I don't want to be. Right. And blessing them, saying, you're just playing out the role I asked you to play before we were born to help me grow and evolve my soul.
Yeah.
And if you look at it that way, there is no one to blame.
Right.
And you take accountability because you're like, wait a second, I chose all this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to choose again. You can re-choose. You're like, if this doesn't serve me, I'm not totally sure why I chose this. I'm going to choose what is in alignment with my highest truth and my highest healing. Yeah. And so there's that. And then what I'm also hearing to say is the mind, when we're fragmented and we're not in alignment, mind, body, spirit, the mind and the ego and the personality goes into judgment. And that binary thinking is so 3D, old earth way. Yeah. Right? Because now our soul is saying, like, that's the healthier place. Let the soul run the show. Yes. And in that, there's unity. Yes. Right? It's not divisive and right, wrong, good, bad, all of that contrast. And so what spirit keeps showing me is that we have an opportunity. You can do it the old way, but that's pain, suffering, and struggle. Or you can do it the new way. Right. Which is grace, ease, joy, kindness, respect, mutual regard, love. Yes. For self and for others. And that's what we're being called to do. And it's a choice. Right. Yeah.
When you say that, I'm sure you can. When you say that, all I feel is yes. And like my nervous system calms down. When you said grace, ease, joy, it's like you can choose to live that. Like I feel like my whole heart opened.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. So isn't it amazing? Just your words allowed me to not feed off of you.
Yeah.
Not codependency.
Oh no, we're not going there.
No. But like it allowed me to soften. Right. And like, isn't that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's what you're saying is like, if you can choose your soul and live from your soul. I mean, I love that. And I live that.
Yes,
and I
you
teach that.
You embody that.
But so do you.
We are mirrors for each other.
I know. We always have been.
Yes.
We always have been.
Yes. And I heard someone say the other day, your words are your wand. Our words matter. And so when I find myself saying, oh, this is so challenging or I'm so frustrated, I cancel.
Yeah.
This is so easy. And I am so grateful for the opportunity to learn this lesson with ease and joy. Thank you, Spirit, for helping me to navigate my way through this in that frequency.
Yes. I want to say yes. And And when we have tears arise because like whatever we're dealing with it sucks, it's hard. Thank you, Spirit, for helping me release this. Right? Last week I was like in the middle of my field with my dog and it was just the tears were pouring and I was like in the middle of my tears pouring, I was like, thank you, God.
I love that.
I'm so grateful that I don't have to live with like whatever's going on in here, that we get to release it too. It's like such a joy, even though it was hard. But like when we can get to that place, that is like, yes, we get to emote and get rid of it and get it out. And thank you, Spirit.
Yes, you've always said, and I love this, you've got to feel it to heal it. And so again, back to the not bypassing it,
right,
but embracing it.
Yeah.
Allowing it.
Yeah.
And then it naturally will transform it and move through you.
Right.
And then we can bless it.
Yes. And bless through it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears for a second. Okay. So we went down. I'd like to go back up.
I like up too.
I'm like, wait, I don't want to live here forever. Okay. So let's talk about, so we worked on spiritual bypassing, feeling our feelings, all the stuff, nervous system healing. And it's like, okay, let's talk about ascension and what that word really means. When you say ascension, I think of a ladder.
Yeah.
And we're always going up and down and we're never just like straight up unless we pass from this earth. This past summer, we had an experience of having Howard pass away. So your stepfather passed away from this earth, his body. And it was such a, for me, witnessing it was such a beautiful thing for such a humble, kind man to watch his eyes and see his soul ascend as his body was leaving this earth, right? As he was dying, I could see the light in I literally watched the light in his eyes ascend. So let's talk a little bit about ascension from a soul's perspective. I know we're going to bring it down in here, but let's talk about dying.
Okay. I like
Not
it.
dying, but like
bring light to what's kind of a taboo topic, death. And we all are having constant cycles of death and rebirth.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so there's the actual birth into this incarnation, and then there's the actual death, the passing from our soul light and back into the non-physical. But then we go through all these cycles of death and rebirth. And so I'm so neutral to it. I don't label it dark or light or good or bad. It just is. And so where were we going with that question?
So when people pass, and their soul ascends, like we say in Hebrew, the soul makes an aliyah, it goes up, right?
Oh, that's what I wanted to say.
There's different takes on it, but so we think about a soul passing through this earth, going to the next world, going and doing, the work of the next world, not bypassing.
Right.
So I guess my question is to kind of hone in is, a lot of the souls, once they get there, they do their work and then they're like, oh my God, this is beautiful. Mostly.
Yeah.
How do we then ascend when we're alive? How do we feel into like what they're feeling, but live it here?
Yeah. That's a great question, because the mind sometimes sabotages us and creates these limitations. But the truth is, when we meditate, when we go to sleep and dream and sometimes leave our bodies and astral travel, our soul self is going home to what's, innate for us. And we don't have to wait to die to experience that. And so it all comes down to frequency. So when the soul transitions to the non-physical, it's not like somewhere up there. It's out. So for me, ascension isn't up but out. It's an expansion. And it's like, I think of the stacking dolls, the Russian stacking dolls. It's like there are layers, and the most dense is the physical, which is why we can, lowest, slowest vibration we can see. Right. And then how like my cat is always looking around, and dogs, they see through the other dimensions. And I can see them sometimes, the orbs that sparks the light. that's a higher frequency. And that we could say, okay, I just tapped into the non-physical, the quantum field that's all around us.
Yes.
And so how do we embody that? It comes down to me personally, it's frequency. Raise your vibration. Do things that light you up, that bring you joy. You know, you can be going through the darkest of times, but bring to it this certainty. You know, it's certainty beyond logic, as one of the Kabbalah teachers I follow, David Guillaume. He's all about certainty beyond logic. And I'm like, yes, because that comes down to real, authentic faith.
Yeah.
I don't understand this, but I know this is of the light. And I know that I am safe as long as I am one with God.
Yes.
And we can call God love.
Yes.
It's a frequency.
Yeah.
You can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so I choose to be in alignment with love and not fear.
Right.
And for me, that's how I bring heaven into my everyday experience. Trust me, I'm not always there. I slip in and out.
Of course.
But I'm getting less and less. Like what I'm finding for me and clients who share this with me is that the wobble in and out of the vortex is less and less.
Yes.
The more I heal.
Yes.
I can hold that frequency of light and love longer and longer. So I have less, I don't want to say bad days, but chaotic days, off days, frenetic days, triggering days. They're less and less. Beautiful. And the contrast is so significant now that I'm like, oh no, I just fell out of my vortex. I am getting right back in.
Right.
I'm responsible for that. The thoughts I think, the feelings I feel, not feeling responsible for you and how you may feel or perceive something. My only job is to stay in my truth and to be loving and respectful and kind, but kind of unapologetic.
Yeah.
This is me. This is my experience. And gosh, this is such a relearning.
It is.
Because I was not raised this way or with this awareness. I've had to like re-parent my inner child and teach myself a new way. And I've really done it with the help of my guides and spirit.
I feel like what you just, like all the things that you just said was like, you just gave us a snapshot of how you kind of like expand into that higher level of frequency. Like I see it as like you went up the ladder and then you're like, yeah, but I reparent myself and I wasn't raised this way. And so you brought that light into reparenting yourself. I mean, that's what you're talking about. It's like that. It's not a step-by-step process. It's a daily responsibility to take care of your own self. It's so much of an enmeshment. Ascension and descension is so, it's like an enmeshment in a good way, right? It's so beautiful what you said.
It's a dance.
Like, it is. It's a frequency.
And it's not linear
at all. Yeah, it's so beautiful. And I love what you also said is like, sometimes you jump back into like, what I always call is like the relationship or physical level, like you said, and it feels so off.
Yes.
And so you jump back in faster.
Right.
And so it doesn't mean, I think what you're saying is it doesn't mean that we're not going to have hard times, right? We all go through difficult things.
That is life.
Right. But it's how we choose to come to that difficult situation.
Yes.
So would it be safe to say that ascension is the process of bringing heaven to earth by living every one of those moments with higher consciousness?
Yes,
and truth and awareness.
That was so well said.
Thank you.
Yes. That is a quote right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like this, I love it. It is like this flow. It's this dance instead of like, now you're here and now you're here and now you're here.
It's
just always.
No, it's like grief. Grief isn't linear.
Exactly.
And it's, that's just part of the human experience.
Yeah.
And how well can you ride the waves with grace?
Right.
And stay in a place of faith and trust and compassion for self. When you fall out, it's okay.
Right.
But that kindness to yourself and awareness gets you back in faster in alignment.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So I just have a couple more questions. You know, one thing you do a lot in your work is talk to people who have passed and connect loved ones to their loved ones on the other side. Do you have any sense of what they see in what we're going through and how we go through that? Like, I'm here and then I'm here and I'm dancing and I'm here and I'm here.
Right.
Like, I wonder what their take on it is. Do you have a sense?
I do. They say it all the time. Even though we pick up where we left off in life. So if we had a lot of baggage or unprocessed trauma and we have work to do, regardless of how we passed away, they're doing that, but they can also at the same time be peaceful, be joyful, and what they want for the living so often is we go into darkness or grief, despair, all the lower frequencies. And when that happens, our frequencies are so far apart on the scale, the living can't feel them.
Right.
And that really makes them sad because they keep saying, please find joy again.
Right.
Find healing, find peace, because we connect on the frequency of love and joy and peace. And so they want for us to be able to forgive the past, forgive ourselves, forgive the death, get out of victim.
Yeah.
And to be more in acceptance. Or just even if we can get to a place of neutrality.
Right.
There we can feel our loved ones in spirit because they're all around us. They still want to be in relationship with us. And the greatest gift we give them is getting to that place and then finding a new way forward, creating our heaven on earth so that we don't have to wait till we die to be with our loved ones.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I keep hearing there's a song, it's like a country song. Live like you are dying.
Oh, yes. That
Tim
song
McGraw.
comes up a lot. Oh, yeah.
I literally hear it all the time. Like when you're talking, I keep feeling like that's one of their messages to us because it feels like they finally figure it out.
Yeah.
On different levels. They have their own frequency and their own healing, like you said. But that's such a strong message for us to choose, right? To live from that light. And I think you're exactly what you said in terms of they want to connect with us. That's part, do you feel that way? Like that's part of this whole ascension topic?
The veil's thinning and more people are becoming aware.
Right.
And we can do it for ourselves.
Right.
And so the idea is to trust that. It doesn't mean you're going to go out and be a healer or a medium.
Right.
For other people, maybe you will. Most people won't. But 100% you can connect to your team spirit is what I call it. And that is what they want for us.
Right.
Because that is going to be what allows us to move through the rest of our soul's journey with grace.
Yeah. And would you say that's a piece of living this heaven on earth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because if you can feel the frequencies of heaven now, you won't be in such a rush to get out of your situation that's uncomfortable or, right? You can move through it while holding opposites. Yes. Both can be true, that you're struggling with your relationship ending or your finances or your child who's suffering. Whatever your situation is, you can bring light and love into it. You can infuse it with that certainty. Yeah. This too is of the light.
Right.
Help me bring heaven into my day so I can therefore help the people around me. That's how we are of service to others. That brings purpose. We all want to feel like we're making a difference and being of service and on purpose.
Yeah.
That's how we can serve each other and elevate the consciousness of the planet. But it starts with ourselves.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like we touched on everything and we could like go on 5 different routes here. Maybe that's for another podcast or two. But I think it's really important. I guess I'll ask you one last question. What is your heaven on earth? What is if like if we took a slice out of like your perfect day even?
For me, my nervous system needs to feel warm and peaceful So if the idea would be like laying on a warm, sunny beach.
Yeah, I already
reading
know
a
that
book,
about you.
right?
Right.
On self-help or spirituality.
Right.
Surrounded by people that reflect that back to me. My heaven is choosing to create a life of peace and harmony and purpose, and choosing to attract in or magnetize people that also hold those values. That to me is heaven.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. And you're part of that.
Thank you. As well are you. Anything coming up for you that you want to talk about or let us know?
I just feel like I need to say to everybody who's suffering and struggling, it's real. I'm not trying to bypass by saying like, it's a choice, change your mind. Sometimes it's not that easy.
Yeah.
And I totally get it because I'm walking through it too. But you're not alone. We're not alone.
Yeah.
Really, truly. I say it all the time, but ask for support from the divine, from your angels and guides.
That's our responsibility.
You have to ask. Law of free will says they cannot intervene unless you give them permission. So I would say use this podcast as a reminder of your birthright to access that love and care and support from not only the non-physical realm, but the physical, like you, my ground crew, right? I'm learning how to remember to reach out and ask for help, ask for support.
Right.
It doesn't come, it's not natural for me because I'm always the giver.
Yeah. Or I'll do it on my own.
Yes. Or I've got this. I don't need people. And then I start putting up walls. And so let's just remember to invite in, whether it's physical or non-physical or both, better yet, that support as we move through this process and create a heaven so we can not even choose to experience the hell.
Yeah.
We don't need to. There's a new way to do this, a better way.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you everyone that listened, and thank you, Rebecca, for coming on the podcast. Mostly just thank you for your openness and your willingness to be vulnerable and also to be real, right? And I think that you and I together and then separately have grown into this understanding that Ascension isn't a ladder up where we go farther and higher and higher and higher. It's actually bringing God into the day-to-day, the worldly things, the earthly things. And from there, we achieve this idea of heaven on earth. So I'm just so grateful that you came here today.
I am too.
And
this is good.
We'll have more conversations, I'm sure, in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.